The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor of the bridal suite, exploding into a cascade of crystal shards that glittered like broken promises under the chandelier's harsh light. My hand trembled, not from the force of the throw, but from the rage boiling in my veins, a white-hot fury that made my vision blur. There, in the mirror across the room, stood my sister Elena, radiant in her ivory gown, her golden curls pinned with diamonds that caught the light like stars. And behind her, adjusting the veil with tender fingers, was my father. His face softened with the pride he'd never once shown me. But it was the words I'd overheard, slipping through the cracked door like poison gas, that gutted me. "She's always been the one, Elena. The light of my life. That other one. She's just a shadow. If she doesn't show up smiling today, I'll cut her off for good. Tuition, apartment, gone. Let her learn what real disappointment feels like." I backed away from the door, my heels sinking into the plush carpet of the hotel hallway, heart hammering like a war drum. The air smelled of lilies and expensive perfume, cloying and suffocating. How dare he? After years of scraping by on his conditional scraps, always the afterthought to Elena's perfection. The golden child, the one who could do no wrong, even when her wrongs had shattered our family. Betrayal wasn't new in our house. It was the foundation. But this was the blade twisting deeper, forcing me to parade as the dutiful sister while he dangled my future like a noose. I fled to the lobby bathroom, locking myself in a stall, knees buckling as I slid to the cold tile floor. Tears burned my eyes, but I wouldn't let them fall. Not yet. Anger surged first, raw and primal, a scream trapped in my throat. Elena, with her flawless GPA, her modeling gigs, her endless stream of admirers, she'd stolen everything. Mom's attention before the cancer took her. Dad's love, hoarded like treasure. And now my dignity, forcing me into this charade. "Attend or else." His text had read last night, blunt as a hammer. "No, please. No, I love you." Just the threat, cold and calculated. In the dim light filtering through the stall door, I pulled out my phone, fingers flying over the screen. Denial hit me like a wave. Maybe I'd misheard. But no, the words echoed, undeniable. Heartbreak followed, a hollow ache in my chest, the kind that made breathing hurt. Why wasn't I enough? I'd clawed my way through college on scholarships and part-time jobs, majoring in journalism because I wanted to expose truths, not live in lies. Elena. She majored in leisure, funded by Dad's wallet. Resentment festered, old wounds reopening. The Christmases where her gifts piled higher, the family photos where I was cropped out, the whispers of "why can't you be more like her?" Fantasies flickered in my mind, storming the ceremony, ripping off her veil, screaming the truths I'd buried. She cheated on her fiancé with his best friend. Yell. And Dad covered it up. But doubt crept in, slimy and insidious. Would anyone believe me? Or would I just look like the jealous sibling, the black sheep? I pressed my palms to my eyes, willing the chaos to settle. No, revenge couldn't be impulsive. It had to be precise, a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Guilt nipped at the edges. Was I really considering this? Destroying her perfect day. But then resolve hardened, cold as steel. Because if I didn't fight back, I'd be complicit in my own erasure. The wedding venue was a sprawling estate on the outskirts of the city, manicured lawns stretching under a sky heavy with impending rain. Thunder rumbled in the distance as I slipped into the crowd of guests milling about the garden, the air thick with the scent of fresh-cut grass and blooming roses. My dress, a simple black sheath I'd bought on sale, felt like armor, but inside I was unraveling. Elena's laughter floated from a cluster of bridesmaids, light and melodic, while Dad schmoozed with relatives, his booming voice praising her latest achievements. I hovered on the periphery, a ghost at my own family's feast. "Ava, darling!" Aunt Lydia spotted me first, her powdered cheeks creasing in a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She pulled me into a hug that smelled of mothballs and gin. "So good you could make it. Your father was worried you'd... Well, you know, with your studies and all." I forced a smile, teeth gritted. Wouldn't miss it for the world. The lie tasted bitter. Inside, obsession brewed. How to expose them without destroying myself? I scanned the faces. Elena's fiancé, Marcus, handsome and oblivious, chatting with groomsmen. Did he know about her affair? I'd seen the texts on her phone years ago, during one of our rare sisterly sleepovers. She'd laughed it off, called it harmless fun. Dad had dismissed it as youthful indiscretion when I told him, then grounded me for snooping. As the ceremony approached, guests filed into the white tent, chairs adorned with satin bows. I took a seat in the back, heart pounding. The string quartet played softly, violins weaving a melody that mocked my turmoil. Elena glided down the aisle on Dad's arm, her face aglow with feigned innocence. He beamed, whispering something that made her giggle. My fists clenched in my lap, nails digging into palms. Humiliation burned. Here I was, coerced into witnessing their triumph. During the vows, Marcus's voice cracked with emotion. Elena, you've been my rock, my everything. Liar, I thought. Or maybe he was the fool. Elena's eyes shimmered with tears. Crocodile tears, I bet. As they kissed, applause erupted, but I sat frozen, plotting. What if I leaked those old texts? Anonymously, of course. Or tampered with the cake, something symbolic. No, too petty. It had to hurt, to mirror the betrayal they'd inflicted. The reception hall buzzed with chatter, clinking glasses, and the aroma of roasted lamb and garlic. I nursed a glass of wine at a corner table, watching Dad toast Elena. To my beautiful daughter, the one who makes every day brighter. The slight wasn't lost on the crowd. A few glances darted my way, pitying. Rage simmered, but I masked it with a nod, inner thoughts racing. Moral conflict gnawed. Was I becoming the monster they painted me as? But no, justice wasn't monstrous. It was necessary. Elena approached later, her gown whispering against the floor. Ava, you came. Her hug was perfunctory, her perfume overpowering. Dad said you might bail. Studies, right? Yeah, I muttered, forcing eye contact. Wouldn't want to disappoint. She tilted her head, concern feigned. You okay? You seem off. Suppressed rage bubbled. Just tired. Congrats, though. Marcus seems great. He is. She beamed, but her eyes flicked away, a tell. Guilt. Or just boredom with me. As she left, I slipped outside, rain now pattering on the stone patio. Lightning flashed, illuminating the gardens in stark white. Fear gripped me. What if my plan backfired? Lost tuition meant dropping out, starting over. But obsession won, I had to act. Back inside, I overheard Dad on his phone. Yes, transfer the funds to Elena's account. Honeymoon upgrade. My blood boiled. That was my tuition money rerouted. The night dragged, dances and speeches blending into a haze. I excused myself early, driving home through the storm, wipers slashing rain like tears. In my cramped apartment I paced, mind whirling. Denial faded. Planning began. I'd gather evidence. Old emails, bank statements showing favoritism. Then strike at her vulnerability, her reputation. An anonymous tip to Marcus. Or better, a public reveal. Doubt lingered. Could I live with the fallout? But resentment fueled me. This wasn't just revenge. It was survival. Days blurred into a fever of preparation. I skipped classes, poring over digital footprints. Elena's social media gleamed with perfection, but I knew the cracks. That affair wasn't her only secret. There were others, like the time she plagiarized her thesis, Dad paying off the professor. Proof was buried in his emails. I'd hacked his password years ago, a petty rebellion I'd never used. Till now. Guilt twisted my gut as I logged in, fingers hovering. This was crossing a line. But so had they. Heartbreak resurfaced. Memories of Mom's deathbed, Dad promising fairness, then lavishing on Elena while I grieved alone. Anger surged anew. I downloaded files, heart racing at every click. A week later I met a friend, Sarah, at a dingy cafe. Steam from coffee mugs curling like smoke. You look wrecked, she said, brow furrowed. It's family stuff. I hesitated, then spilled fragments. The threat, the favoritism. Not the plan, too risky. Confront him, she urged. Don't let it eat you. But confrontation had never worked. Maybe, I lied, mind elsewhere. Inner conflict raged. Was revenge worth becoming like them? Manipulative, cruel. Yet cold resolve settled. Yes, because silence was surrender. Subtle hints emerged. Elena texting me photos of her honeymoon plans, oblivious. Dad calling to check in. His voice laced with warning. Tension built, quiet but insistent. I smiled through it, biding time. Finally the spark. An email from Dad confirming the tuition cut if I caused drama. Fury ignited. That night, alone in the dark, I drafted the anonymous message to Marcus. Links to proof Elena's betrayals laid bare. Fear trembled my hands. What if he ignored it? Or worse, confronted me? But I hit send, heart in throat. The die was cast. The email's confirmation stared back at me from the screen. A digital guillotine blade dropped. Message sent. My apartment felt smaller. Walls closing in as thunder from the lingering storm rattled the windows. Rain lashed the glass like accusations, and I paced the threadbare rug, pulse thundering in my ears. Obsession had morphed into dread. What had I done? Marcus would see it soon, perhaps during their honeymoon packing. Would he explode? Confront Elena? Or dismiss it as a prank? Moral conflict clawed deeper. This wasn't just payback, it was shattering lives. But then resentment flared. They'd shattered mine first. Sleep evaded me, fragmented by nightmares of exposure. In one, Dad's face loomed, eyes blazing. You ungrateful wretch. I woke sweating, guilt a heavy shroud. Was this justice or jealousy disguised? Brutal honesty, forced admission, both. Heartbreak lingered, a dull ache for the family we'd never been. Yet resolve hardened. I couldn't undo it now. Morning brought no relief. I checked my phone obsessively, but silence reigned. Classes blurred, lectures droning like white noise. During lunch, Sarah noticed my distraction. Still family drama. I nodded, forcing a laugh. You have no idea. Tell me, she pressed, her voice soft, probing. Hesitation gripped me. Confide. No, too dangerous. Just the usual. Dad favoring Elena. She sighed. Families suck sometimes. But revenge fantasies. Don't go there. Her words stung, mirroring my doubts. But it was too late. That evening, a text from Elena. Hey sis. Honeymoon shopping was fab. Miss you. The cheerfulness mocked me. Suppressed rage simmered. How could she pretend? I replied curtly. Congrats. Inside, tension coiled tighter, a spring ready to snap. Days stretched, suspense a slow poison. I imagined scenarios. Marcus storming out, Elena in tears, Dad scrambling to contain. Fear mixed with anticipation, poetic justice, her facade crumbling as mine had. But hidden motives nagged. Was Dad's favoritism masking something deeper? Guilt over Mom's death, perhaps, projected onto Elena's similarity to her. A call from Dad shattered the quiet. Ava, we need to talk. His voice was steel, no warmth. My stomach dropped. About what? Marcus got some disturbing email. Accusations about Elena. Know anything? Denial rushed out. No. What kind? He paused, suspicion thick. Lies. But if I find out? The threat hung unspoken. Panic surged. Had I left traces? But I feigned innocence. Sounds awful. Hope it's sorted. Hanging up, I trembled. Doubt flooded. Moral grayness loomed. Innocence hurt like Marcus. But betrayal's sting justified it, right? The confrontation came sooner than expected. Elena showed up at my door unannounced. Eyes red-rimmed, mascara streaked. The hallway light cast harsh shadows on her face. Once flawless, now etched with fury. You bitch, she hissed, pushing inside without invitation. The door slammed, echoing like a gunshot. Shock rooted me. What? Don't play dumb. She waved her phone, screen glowing with the email I'd sent. Marcus left me. Called off the honeymoon. Because of this. Heart pounding, I backed away, feigning confusion. I don't know what that is. Liar. Her voice cracked, raw emotion spilling. Those texts. From years ago. Only you knew. And Dad's emails. You hacked him. Guilt twisted, but anger countered. Maybe it's karma, Elena. For everything you've taken. She recoiled, hurt flashing. Taken. I've tried to include you. But you're always so resentful. Dialogue heightened tension, revelations tumbling. Include me. You stole Mom's necklace, the one she left me. Dad gave it to you anyway. Her eyes widened. I didn't know. Bullshit. Suppressed rage erupted. And the affair. You betrayed Marcus before the vows even dried. Tears streamed down her face. It was a mistake. I was scared. Dad helped cover it because he couldn't lose me too. After Mom. The admission hit like a punch. Layered motivations unveiled. Dad's favoritism wasn't just bias. It was grief misplaced. Moral complexity deepened. We were all broken, lashing out. But obsession drove me. You deserve this. She lunged, grabbing my arm, nails digging. Fix it. Tell Marcus it's lies. Fear spiked, physical now. I wrenched free. No. Live with it. She stormed out, sobbing. Alone I collapsed, heartbeat erratic. The revenge tasted ashen, not sweet. Inner thoughts swirled. Had I gone too far? Poetic justice felt hollow. Dad arrived next, his knock thunderous. He barged in, face thunderous, the air thick with his cologne and wrath. You did this. Not a question. Denial faltered. She had it coming. His eyes narrowed, pain beneath anger. You're just like your mother. Stubborn, destructive. The words gutted me. Mom. You blamed her for everything. He sighed, deflating. I loved her. But she left us in her way. Elena. She's all I have left of her. Revelation cracked open. Betrayal's roots in loss. Guilt overwhelmed. My actions echoed the cycle. But resolve flickered. What about me? I'm your daughter too. He paused, conflict in his gaze. I was wrong. The tuition, it's safe. But this. You've destroyed us. As he left, tension peaked. I sat in the dim room, rain pattering, contemplating consequences. Weeks later, the twist unfolded. Marcus didn't just leave. He sued for fraud, exposing Elena's secrets publicly. Tabloids feasted. Golden Girl's dark side. Dad's business suffered, clients fleeing scandal. My anonymity held, but whispers reached me. Ava, the shadow, finally stepping into light. Yet psychological impact weighed. Isolation, regret. I graduated, tuition intact, but family fractured. In quiet moments, obsession faded to reflection. Revenge brought justice, but at what cost? One night a package arrived. Mom's necklace with a note from Elena. You were right. I'm sorry. Heartbreak mended slightly, but scars remained. The story closed not in triumph, but resonance. Betrayal's cycle broken, if imperfectly. Cold resolve. Replaced by wary hope.